This is Don Cowboy Biker Adventures. This is a 360 video, so rotate your view. This is a tour of Key West.
Of Bahama Village, where you'll find the most visited attractions on the island. And the first thing we want to mention for the tour of the area here is on our right-hand side, we're going to see the building with the cannons out in front. It is the Melfisher Maritime Museum. What impresses discovery folks of Melfisher going back in time to the year 1622. The Spanish treasure galleons known as the Señora Luisa de Atocha, Santa Margarita, sank about 30 miles west of Cayo Hueso. The story is that Melfisher and his crew members went out and searched for the treasure for 16 years. Can you imagine? Each day, Melfisher told them for 16 years.
Today's the day!
Well, it was in 1985. They found another load of the Atocha containing about $500 million in treasure items. That included $200 million in gold bars, $60 million worth of exquisite emeralds. What an impressive discovery. I wish I found all that treasure, you guys, that's for sure. Check it out if you get a chance. The Melfisher Museum will be on your right-hand side there. Now we're going to continue traveling down Whitehead Street. Coming up on the right-hand side here, folks, we're going to find the entrance into the attraction President Truman's Little White House. The large green gates date back to 1906 when they were built. Once only open for the presidents that came down to the island over the years. That included Kennedy, Carter, Eisenhower, Staff Clinton, but most notable Truman. He loved the island. In fact, he spent 11 working holidays here. That consisted of poker playing, informal attitude, and wearing Hawaiian-themed shirts around the property. Remember, it's here, folks, at Stop A, Mallory Square for President Truman's Little White House. And you'll find out more taking the tour. You would escape the security from the Little White House, head down Caroline Street, and stop at Pepe's to have a cup of coffee with the local conchs. Here's for the president. Bit of a cheesy soundbite, but relative to the attraction. Open until 4:30 here at Stop A, Mallory. We won't only mention the attractions in the island early settlers for the tour. On the left-hand side, folks, we'll pass by a grand member of the Ficus family, again to mention the architecture and the beautiful tropical foliage of the island. Planted here over 100 years ago by a woman named Myrtle Crossgrove. It's a grand member, again, a banyan tree here to the left forms in between the vacation rentals. It'll stretch over the driveway, over the sidewalk, landing on to the other properties, one tree. The aerial roots look like dangling twigs, but over time, as they become strong enough, they attach themselves, forming multiple roots of the tree there. Very impressive. Now, if you're looking for something like that in the form of an attraction, you have a botanical garden. That's in Stuck Island, a bit of a ways from Old Town. But you can head over to the Butterfly Conservatory and the Garden Club at the West Martello, pre-admission. Speaking of the West Martello, folks, we'll show you that later in the tour. It is one of the 3 Civil War forts on the island. If you look on your right-hand side here, you'll see what may resemble the brick fortifications known as Martellos. That's our post office there. That was designed by a local architect, Sonny McCoy, the mayor of Key West in the 70s. In keeping with all guidelines of being a federal building, it had to be constructed in that way. Pretty cool. Again, we're going to show you an actual fort later in the tour. And show you the Wildlife Center. That is Sonny McCoy's Indigenous Park, formerly known as. Now, we're at the intersection of Fleming and Whitehead Street, folks. We have those cameras ready. We are sightseeing. This is where you have the opportunity to take a picture of the famous or infamous mile marker 0 sign as the official beginning and end of Route US 1. We encourage you to take the picture as soon as you get a chance. Get it while it's hot. Might not be there later this afternoon. Again, it's also known as the most stolen sign on the island. You're going to realize they can buy their own sign at the gift shop right next to the sign itself. There's also a traffic cam at the intersection. Tisk tisk. Now, if you leave Key West using Route US 1, that will take you all the way to the Canadian border. A bit of a trip, about 2,200-mile road trip to Fort Kidd, Maine. All right, now this area is Jackson Square, folks, for the mile 0 sign. Again, Stop A is going to get you there. Jackson Square here to your right, the spot we have built our county structure since we formed in 1821, about 76 years before Miami was incorporated. That's where you can find our courthouse, built 1890. The old jail is just at the back, a massive cakewalk tree and the end of the rainbow. Now we're going to come right back to this area a little later in the tour. We'll talk about it some more, folks. Again, continuing down Whitehead Street here, the road named after John Whitehead, an early shipwreck survivor brought to the island in the year 1818. It's the first road in the downtown area to be paved for Key West. And Whitehead Street, folks, if you come down this way, again, taking a left on the southern, that's going to get you into the state park Fort Zachary Taylor. And guys, Fort Zach is a great spot today for a sunset watch spot. $7 fee for the adults. Open until about 6:30 if I'm not mistaken. It's where you'll find the first of the 3 Civil War forts on the island. 1845. Today it holds the largest collection of Civil War armament in the nation. Alright guys, again, that's available to about 6:30. We're going to pass by one of the actual forts a little later in the tour. Well, I happen to know this island quite well, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, I don't know if they told you yet, but if you're born and raised on this tiny little 2x4 island, you know what the local Key West residents call each other? Lucky, fortunate. They all got to grow up in paradise their entire lives. But more important, the nickname of the Key West residents, Conch. You're born and raised on the island, you're known as a saltwater conch, and if you move to the island and live here for 7 years, you become known as a freshwater conch. We're traveling, the conch tour train. I didn't mention, folks, but your tour guide, Danilo, is a 5th generation saltwater conch. I've lived here my entire life, you guys. In fact, my family's been on this island since 1894. This is the part of the island I grew up in, Bahama Village. Settled in the mid-1800s by the Bahamians that worked in the early industries of the island. That included salt farming, shipwrecking, sponging in all of the tobacco. Now you'll find the market sign here made of recycled bicycle parts, and a great little spot to come back and get a bite to eat. Best Bloody Mary on the island, that is the southernmost Ramshead, because everything in Key West is southernmost. Down the street of Petronia, at the intersection of Thomas and Petronia, you're going to find the Blue Heaven restaurant, you guys. If you're looking for Blue Heaven, you hop off at Stop B. It's a great spot to get a bite, and also where you're going to find some great key line live, believe it or not. Blue Heaven was known as the Blue Goose Boxing Arena in the earlier days, where Hemingway was known for hosting boxing matches as a referee. We've got Hemingway home coming up in just a moment, you guys. Cottage-like bungalows off to your left. We're going to talk about them as we get near the city cemetery. But notice a fancy little scroll-like trim just at the roof line of the home, the little sail or swordfish painted blue, carved of gingerbread. We got about 150 different patterns throughout the historic district, folks. We're going to point some of them out to you as we make our way. Again, on the left-hand side here, coming up behind the red brick wall, is the Ernest Hemingway home. Built back in the 1850s by record merchant Asa Tipp. Today, it displays the French colonial architectural style, the only one on the island. Purchased in 1931 by Hemingway and his wife Pauline. Rather given to them as a wedding gift. Pauline's Uncle Gus gave that to them. How lucky were they? I wish I had an uncle named Gus. Now, folks, on the property, you'll find expansive, beautiful gardens, the first swimming pool built on the island, and some cute descendants of Hemingway's 6-toed cats that roam the property. He lived there for 10 years. The writer's studio on the second floor of the building is where he would write the memorable novels. Tab, and if not, stars of Kilimanjaro. And remember to keep all body parts inside the train, or you may end up with a farewell to arms. Third novel, Hemingway. Okay, I'll try again later. Alright, so you got the Hemingway home. Key West Lighthouse, you guys. See you guys pointing out there to the Key West Lighthouse and the Keeper Quarters exhibit there. Tell you about the lighthouse in a second, you guys. Again, the Keeper Quarters, you can see there's 2 front doors there. Say it would take 2 families to operate our lighthouse back in the day, folks. First lighthouse keeper, Barbara Mabry, if I'm not mistaken. Remember, folks, if you look at our lighthouse, you'll see that it's actually not near the water. Typically, that's where you find them. Well, 1828, it was built to break up the street where we're headed. Today, we can find that buoy marking 90 miles from here to Cuba. I'm not too sure how familiar you are with the hurricane season of Key West or for the state of Florida, but it can be quite unforgiving and quite brutal. And it said the most powerful hurricane to hit the island obliterated the lighthouse. The Havana hurricane of 1846 brought close to 200-mile-an-hour winds sustained, and about 4 feet of the ocean's water that covered the entire area here. Completely obliterated it. But that was the only reliable source for these vessels and ships to guide themselves back to dock. They had to rebuild it. They put it closer inland at higher grounds to shelter it from future storms. Okay, that was taken off the active list 1969, 88 spiral steps. Go up to the top, guys, and a very great view. Getting up there. And we are arriving to the southernmost point buoy marking 90 miles from here to Cuba. That's exactly what it is, folks, a buoy marking 90 miles from here to Cuba. Now, before we make it there, we'll pass by the Truman Annex Naval Air Station, and it's also where you'll find the exact location or the landmark on the southernmost point, if that makes sense. Can't put up an attraction on an active military base. But we've always been a big Navy town, folks. Again, on the right-hand side is the Truman Annex. It's one of the 4 naval stations within the 4 Keys. There's 3 of them here on the island alone, you guys. Going back into the 1800s, during the wrecking industry, it is said that the Pirate Republic was terrorizing or controlling the shipping lanes to the Caribbean waters. Naval officer Commodore David Porter would assign a group of fast, maneuverable naval ships to the closest U.S. port in the Caribbean to combat the pirates of the West Indies. And those naval ships were known as the Mosquito Squadron or Mosquito Fleet. All right, guys, again on the right-hand side, we have the Truman Annex Naval Air Station. And we are approaching the southernmost point. I don't know if we have any active naval service members or anyone serving for the country today, folks, but for the Conch train, we'd like to show our support and respect to the heroes of the country. Anchors away. buoy marking 90 miles from here to Cuba. Be sure to get a picture of that buoy as we pass by. It is pretty rare, pretty exclusive. Congratulations, that makes you the southernmost Conch train riders. Woohoo! Take a picture of them on the sidewalk. Do you see them there? The blue, green, and black southernmost trash cans on your right-hand side. Right now, they say we're 85 miles further south in Brownsville, Texas. 385 miles further south in Cairo, Egypt. Cuba is 90 miles away from this location. The nearest Walmart's 137 miles away from this location. Alright guys, again, if you want to get back to this spot, hop off at the next stop. Looks like you won't have to wait in the longest southernmost line today. Not quite the line. Southernmost fire hydrant. Okay, I'll stop it. I'll knock it off. There it is, the southernmost house built by author Thelma Strable, a writer for the Saturday Evening Post. She wrote a book about a wreck industry called Reap the Wild Wind. Later became a motion picture starring actor John Wayne. Like the bad guy. Anyway, I mentioned that because you got the southernmost house, and then on your right-hand side, still standing in its mountain glory, the southernmost house in the continent of the United States. So you got the southernmost. What's going on here? Well, everybody wants to be southernmost, first off. Anyway, let's give you some history about it. Built back 1896. Victorian Queen Anne architectural style. The home of Vining Harrison, Florida Curry, the daughter of Florida's first self-made millionaire. And it said that Thelma Strable made an offer to purchase the mansion here on your right-hand side, but was declined. She wouldn't be denied. She built her own and called it the southernmost house. They get it done. Not that petty, but she got the job done. The home of Eduardo Gato is on your left-hand side, folks. I'd like to point that out there. Absolutely beautiful. Eduardo Gato was a prominent Cuban tobacco factory owner here on the island. He was known for building the first working trolley system in the earlier days. And that wasn't public transportation. It would transport his tobacco rollers to all the factories around town. Possible off as we jump into the tobacco industry. Then we got the Butterfly Conservatory here to your left. My daughter loves visiting this spot on Daddy's days off. That feels like every day in the summer when school's out. Anyway, here it is. The glass greenhouse behind it. They got over 1,000 butterflies fluttering around for you to explore. Baby turtles, if I'm not mistaken, and the two cute pink flamingos. The names, Rhett and Scarlet. Aha! Go check them out, guys. Give it a check. This is the spot, they say, going back into the tour. 1831. A gentleman by the name of Sir William Wall opened a tobacco factory in a heart of old town. Getting into as time would go on, folks, it was in the 1870s where the tobacco industry exploded on the island. And it's when the Cubans were arriving to Key West, fleeing from the island nation as they were fighting for their independence in Spain. During the Cuban Revolution, folks, again about 1870, 20,000 was our population. 1/3 of our population were Cuban. Everyone must disregard there, about 100 million annually. One of the Cuban leaders, journalist, poet, and powerful speaker, Jose Marti, would arrive to our island in 1896. During the fight for the independence, the building on the right-hand side is where the Cuban leader, Jose Marti, would stand and rally together his supporters. The building formerly known as La Teresa de Marti, today La Tida. Little spot to get a bite. Alright guys, and again, this is all available. Hopping off at our next stop. We'll be there in just a moment. Now if you decide to hop off at station letter B, be sure to hold on to your tickets and remember the next train's back in about 30 minutes. The next train's back in 30 minutes. The last train is back at 4:45 at a pickup here at True Ball Station. The nearby attractions are going to be the Hemingway Home, the Key West Lighthouse, the Southernmost Point, State Park, Fort Zachary Taylor. You can also head over to that beautiful prayer grotto on the church down to St. Mary's. We'll be passing by that in just a moment. Remember to stay seated until we stop completely. Once we stop the train, it will be safe to hop off. We have our safety conductor, Rich Little, that has joined us for the tour. Coming in hot, folks, to remind you how to disembark in a safe manner. Here it is, Rich Little. 1 second, make sure we get the right one. There we go. Oh, that's not quite it. Alrighty guys, and again, just on the right hand side here, we'll be pulling into the station.
After catching the next flight out, fine, leave. Just remember to stay in your seat until the ring comes with a complete stop. Hold on to the handrails, you got it. Start, watch your step. You need help? Just listen.
Alright guys, again, please watch your step, hold on to those handrails, and remember, if you need any assistance hopping off, let us know, we'll bring a step back there for you.
That's part one. Stay tuned for 2 to 3 more parts of the tour of Key West.